One sec. Echo. Turn Mahika's dungeon orange.
Okay.
Oh, I can't decide. Guys. Echo. Turn Mahika's dungeon purple.
Okay.
You need to vote. Tell me what colour you guys want in the next video. Okay. Let's do blue. It did look pretty good. Echo. Echo. Turn Mahika's dungeon blue.
Okay.
Charming. Thank you, next. That's the shop, not the song. Right. Let's get into the video, guys. It turns out that I've got quite a lot to say. I was going through my notes to make sure that I hadn't missed something. This is something that I wrote up like 3-4 days ago. I just started CBT, and we did touch on thoughts like this. I don't know what YouTube will allow me to say and not say. So yeah, I have got other videos like this on my channel. Please feel free to check them out. I've got a couple of videos on this channel. I've got a couple of videos on my main. This is something that I've dealt with since I was 13. I'm now 24, so that's like half my life. I'm still here. So I have a thing or two to say, and I hope it helps. Genuinely, sincerely. And let's start out by making it apparent that you are not alone. Or making it known that you are not alone. Yeah, let's get into it. So, the first thing when I get thoughts like this is that I don't take them seriously. I don't, because like I said, I'm still here. You know, if they meant something, then I probably would have done something by now. Does this mean I don't take your feelings seriously? No, this is just to do with me. When I have these thoughts, I learn to laugh at them because I recognize that they're a symptom of something else. It's not me. See, right now, I'm kind of alright. I'm stressed. I've got stuff going on. But that's not what I'm feeling. That's not what I'm thinking currently, consciously in my head. And so I acknowledge the fact that these thoughts are very, very, very much separate to me. And I mentioned this in previous videos, but it is not in our nature to want to destroy ourselves like that. It is not in our nature to want to cease to exist. If we are to become, that is the opposite. It makes no sense. You know, so I don't perceive these thoughts as something serious from myself. I'm just like, oh, there goes the bullshit again, quite honestly. Number 2, like I touched on, understanding that this is not a natural state. Our sole purpose is to become, right? And to become, you got to be inspired to live, or at the very least, if not inspired, you need to have some sort of desire to live. And again, I've touched on this in a previous video, and I've written up it turns out, an essay, because these I wrote out like a few days ago, and I was just digging through my notes to see if there was anything else that I could add on. And it turns out back in 2023, when I was having a tough time, I wrote out like a whole flipping essay on how to pick yourself back up. I need to go and like review that and revise that. So I'm going to bring you guys more content regarding this, because the worst thing, I mean, first of all, feeling this way is one of the worst things. The second worst thing about it is feeling alone in it. And so I want to make as much content as I can to inspire you guys to fucking stick around. Yeah, fuck, it's just really sad, man. Like, I think if there's anything that I do, like, I've figured out how to stick around. I haven't quite figured out the wanting to stay for long part yet. I'm figuring that out piece by piece too. Quickly, whilst we're here, I think it's got something to do with having purpose, and part of this is my purpose, and I think the other part is learning how to be present and to connect with humans. Believe it or not. Those are 3 things: purpose, presence, so being able to take in where you are. I spent a long time living in the past, living in the future. First living in the future, worrying about it, years, then living in the past, dwelling and ruminating and never growing and becoming new and staying the victim of circumstances. Presence. And the third thing, connection. Walking alone. You're gonna have to do it at times. But you're not just here to walk alone. The joy is in becoming with people, too. When I figure it out, I'll be sure to share. If you want to follow my journey, then subscribe. What else keeps me around is a personal vision of wanting to help others to not feel this way. And that keeps me going, so I guess that touches on purpose, yeah. Like I said, feeling alone in this can be one of the worst things. I'm with you. Let's normalize feeling this way and choosing to stick around. I don't want to normalize the feeling. That part is not ideal. We don't want to normalize it. Cute, aesthetic, just spending my afternoon dreaming of fun scenarios. No, yeah, let's not normalize that, but let's normalize not making it into something bigger, into making it our identity. Or, if you want to make it your identity, which partially I have, I look at myself as, I feel this way, but I survive it every time. This comes up, like if I feel an intense emotion, I'll bring this up in a minute, but like the way that I deal with it is that I pick myself back up, I channel it into blah blah blah, I am strong. If your final bottom line is that you're a strong person, or that you're capable, or that you can keep going, then fine, make it a part of your identity. But what I'm saying is, let's not make it into such a thing. And when I say that, I don't mean to diminish what you're feeling, I don't mean to say that it's not a big deal, because it fucking is, obviously. But it's more just, sometimes what we need to do is detach ourselves from it, realize it's a symptom of something else. And I think if there's anything you get from any of my videos regarding this, is understand that is not your natural state. Understand that is not your soul speaking to you. Understand that is not your essence speaking to you. That it would not do that. You are the universe, you are God, you are love, you have that within you, irrespective of where you come from, irrespective of who your parents were, irrespective of your life experiences, even if you're fucking 60 years old and your life has told you one thing. Primarily, you are love. You have God within you. You have goodness within you, and goodness would not tell you such a thing. Understand that, and recognize thoughts like this, feelings like this, are a symptom of something else. That's what's kept me here. A very big key thing. Hello. Okay, quick interlude, because my mum came in, but show off the muscles. Hold on, let me just... I got this mic in like November. It's totally worth it. At least I think so. What do you guys think? And I'm living from my fit. You guys want to see? I've got a bunch of clothes on my bed, so I'm going to be kind of careful with the angle. But slay, if I do say so myself. Slay.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
You don't need to help me, darling. I'm quite alright on my own. But you see, Jim, I always used to say to my ex, if Jim was a person, I would marry them. What a nice girlfriend I was. But, genuinely, it saved me. And we're going to get into that too. Right, I want you to look at this. I'm going to put in a filler word. I want to end myself. Change that into I want to end this version of myself. Or I want to end this life. Change that into I want to end this version of my life. Let that sink in a little bit. The reason this is so effective, and why this really was the case for me, is because I could realize that it wasn't me. It's who I was being. It's the way that I would talk to myself, which was that was my recent diagnosis, which is why I'm now doing CBT, because I realize how freaking toxic I can be to myself, and horrible. Big old bully. We all have it in us. The capacity for great evil and all that. The way in which you talk to yourself. That might be what needs to change. The way you perceive who you are and how much you can change and what you can do, that could be what needs to change. Your daily habits, how you treat yourself. Are you treating your friends better than you treat yourself? Why? What job do you have? Are you happy? Or at the very least, are you fulfilled? Forget happiness for a second. Does it give you a sense of meaning in this world? If not, and you're spending the majority of your time there, perhaps it's not you that you want to end. Perhaps it's this version of your life. Because deep down, you know that you don't like this trajectory so much. We're smarter than we think, but sometimes we don't want to consciously absorb things. Sometimes we just let things brew subconsciously until our mind starts screaming at us, until our body starts speaking up. If you don't speak up, your body will. Your subconscious will. If you're not listening to that quiet voice, hun, of course it's going to start screaming. It's like a teenager. Sorry, it's my towel over there. We're going to cut that out because we're trying to keep it aesthetic today. You tell a teenager who's trying to find themselves, you can't be this, you can't do that, don't go out. Of course they're going to want to rebel. Your spirit is rebelling because your spirit was not meant to be squashed. Do you have a lot of people-pleasing tendencies? Do you not communicate? Do you shut yourself down when there are other people walking all over you? Do you just continue to let them? Perhaps that is what needs to change. That is what needs to go. Not you. Not you. One big trigger in my teens and early 20s was this unexpressed rage that I had. It could be towards my mother. This would often be when it was at its worst. Like, I'm talking feeling this way, the topic of this video, because of a disagreement or argument I had with my mother. Why? Because of the depth of emotion that I felt in relation to her, in relation to, I guess, my feeling of belonging, safety. Also, with time I've understood, because if you want to take into consideration astrology, my Mars is in my 12th house. A lot of that is to do with like repression and what's hidden and going sort of, I believe inwards, and turning your anger. You can have a tendency to turn your anger inwards, and I have that. My anger gets turned inwards, which is why I feel I'm probably prone to self-harming and all of that stuff. So given the nature of who I am and how I handle things... Okay, I'm just going to read what I wrote because I can't be eloquent today. My nature is to turn my anger inward, and the fact that it was so high, I know I'm not thinking rationally. And it's a symptom, it's always a symptom, of how deeply I feel something and that I need to express that more healthily. This volume of anger, it would come out in this desire to want to end myself. And it wasn't because of anything she was saying. It was just how I'm not saying the argument was exactly joyful or enjoyable or whatever, but because of what I was feeling and how I felt, I couldn't express it. I didn't have the means, I didn't have the tools, I didn't have the skills. My only way of being able to channel it was inwards towards myself. But you see, again, it's a symptom. And the solution is to find a way to communicate, to get that emotion output. And that's another thing, actually, I forgot to write that on here, but when I was 13, 14, I started getting back into painting, drawing. I used to draw demons, guys. I used to literally take a biro, imperfect art, and I would just scribble. I would draw like demons, like demon faces, because it was cathartic. They were scary, scary looking. Wasn't something worth framing, but it sort of took what that emotion was, that anger, that thing that scared me, and it put it out. It took it out of me. So recognize that sometimes what you're feeling, it is just that much more because of how much you care, because of how deeply you want to feel connected, how deeply you want to feel accepted, how deeply you want to feel like you belong, how deeply you want to be heard, how deeply you want to express yourself. We're smarter than we think. If your body is saying this, if your mind is saying this, it's a symptom, it's talking to you, listen to it. Listen to it. Treat yourself. And this is another way that I deal with things. It's funny because I've actually seen this like reel or short on TikTok about how people don't go to the gym for their, what was it? Something, they don't go to the gym for their physique, but they go to the gym so they don't jump off a cliff. Kinda. A lot of people say, the gym clears their mind. For me, it doesn't clear my mind, it just gets me out of it. But it's a step above not going to the gym for me. And I want to talk to you about something that I like to call death point. Now, use this with caution. What I'm saying here, when you go to the gym and you're going through the workout, right? There comes a point, if you know, there comes a point where you feel like you can't do anymore. You feel like you're gonna die. But you don't stop. You keep going, whether it's because of your own insanity, or because of the music you're playing, or because there's a coach there looking at you, or whatever, telling you can do it, or to keep going, or whatever. You keep going, and you realize you've got this whole other energy source that you can tap into. It feels like you've died and come back to life, in a way. Bro, my storage cut out. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it quick, but basically it feels like that. And that's why I call it death point. Take yourself to death point and thank me later. Thank me later. When I say use with caution, what I don't mean is neglect yourself. and pick up weights that are way too heavy for you and be tearing things. No, don't do that. But take yourself muscular-wise, on a muscle level, of that burning feeling. Not like, oh my God, I'm just like, I need to go to A&E. That burning feeling. Not stinging, burning feeling. Take yourself to death point. Take yourself to death point and survive it. And you'll live to see another day. That's it, guys. It's not perfect. You know, I'm not going to come here and say I've found all the perfect solutions for every single person on this planet. I wish I could. I really wish I could. But I'm going to keep doing my best on my side to share with you what keeps me around, what helps me to keep my head above water. And once I figured out how to not just do that, but swim and actually enjoy the swimming, and then find an island and even, you know, find a coconut on that island and sunbathe. Once I figured all that out, you know, enjoy the view, build a boat, I'll share it with you. Of course. You can do anything. You don't need to believe me. Just know it. Sometimes there's so much power in just saying, I can. Not even I want to, not even I desire to, not even I believe in myself. We'll save that for another video. But you can do anything. And one day, you're going to meet a version of you that not only knows that, but feels it with every part of their being. Whenever I make these videos, all I want is to just be able to give anyone feeling this way a hug. Give them my physical presence to help them to feel strong. But you have it within you to pick yourself up too. That's why I love the gym so much. It's such a metaphor for so much of what we have to overcome in life. Go find Death Point. And I'll see you in the next video.